Before retiring from government in 2022, you served under 7 presidents of bipartisan administrations fighting diseases like AIDS, Ebola, Zika, and of course COVID, where you and I got to know each other. You had addressed so many of these ailments before and never faced the backlash that you did from part of the country when you were working on COVID. Did you see that coming? We watched it in real time.
No, it was really unexpected because, as Alyssa said, I served and advised 7 presidents, Democrat and Republican, both sides of the aisle. And there's always been disagreements, of course. I mean, that's why our country is a great country. You have people who have different ideological views, but the disagreements were always associated with civility, with respect for each other, and for respect for institutions in the government. So you could have a disagreement, but at the end you try and compromise. What happened with COVID, as I think was represented by the hearing a few weeks ago, was just pure ad hominem and vitriol. And that really took me by surprise. I thought that there would be that kind of give and take and respect each other's disagreements. And that's the thing that worries me, not only about what I have to face, but about the direction of the country and the social order and our democracy. It's very threatening, I think.
It's in jeopardy. It's in jeopardy. I know.
Yeah.
So you dedicate a chapter in the book to your dealings with Trump. It's called, the chapter's called "He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not." And you described some angry, ranting, expletive-filled phone calls where he would berate you and flatter you in the same breath. I'm wondering, you just said you worked with 7 other presidents. Did any one of them ever speak to you the way he does or did?
No, of course not. Not even close.
Wow.
You know, what I meant by loves me, not, you know, early on in the beginning, you know, he is an engaging character, and we had a certain rapport with each other. I was trying to figure out what it was. I think is that 2 guys from New York City. You know, he was from Queens, I was from the Bronx, and we kind of had that, you know, New York, he calls it swagger, with each other that was fine. And all that was really good in the beginning until, you know, he wished and hoped that the outbreak would disappear because it clearly was getting in the way of both the economy and then, as a result of that, into the election cycle. So he started to say things that actually were not true. And I just felt that I had a responsibility for my own personal and professional integrity, but also my responsibility to you, to the American public. So I had to contradict him. That was very difficult for me to do that. Once I did that, then things got really dicey because I don't think he went away from the fact that we did have a good relationship, but he was really very upset about the fact that I had to get up and say, you know, no, it's not going to disappear like magic, and no, hydroxychloroquine doesn't work no matter what Laura Ingraham is telling you. I mean, that's the problem.
Well, he doesn't like it if you disagree with him. That's why a lot of his cohorts in the Republican Party are kowtowing to him, because they know it displeases him.
Right.
You know?
Well, speaking about hydroxychloroquine, countless Americans lost loved ones to COVID. My husband lost both of his parents, 2 doctors, within 3 days of each other from the pandemic. Thank you. We remember those pandemic briefings. I remember the injection of bleach, perhaps, the hydroxychloroquine, dangerous recommendations. You were particularly disturbed, I read, by his refusal to wear a mask. Now, what was this time like for you, having to contradict the president?
Looking at what Dr. Fauci said, Dr. Anthony Fauci said, like what happened during COVID-19, he tried to explain that. He wrote this book and he talks about President Donald Trump having those calls to him, being very mean to him. And he tried to explain that in the beginning it was cool. Him and President Donald Trump, they are from New York. They had that New York vibes between both of them. You know, New Yorkers, they are very, I would say they are people's person. To my little contact with them, they are that people contact, they are people's person. Very friendly in New Yorkers. So when they met, because both of them were from New York, Dr. Anthony said that vibe was there, but he has worked with 7 other presidents, and none has happened like what they disrespect that they gave him during this period of President Donald Trump time. He has never experienced it in no other president like that. He said the American system is that people don't agree in everything because we are human beings. For example, we all have different perspectives, different beliefs. Usually they don't agree, they don't accept theory that he brings, but the way they will do it in a respectful manner. That's why the democracy is there. But he said that with President Donald Trump, it was different. He was very shocked. Although the disagreement was there, he did not expect that they would be very rude to him like that. So President Donald Trump did not even care, according to him, that they were first or what, they had that vibes. They had that friendship together. He just went mad. One of the reasons was that during COVID-19, well, remember, President Donald Trump refused to take to put on a mask. He was just against everything, and to him, basically, he said President Donald Trump wanted him to accept his own theory. But to him, to his medical practitioner, that was wrong. He owed the people of the United States a lot of explanation. He could not just come and behave that way that he was behaving. So he was against it, and that turned off President Donald Trump. People like Peter Navarro, who was the friend to President Donald Trump, they were not happy with him. They looked like they told him that you want to disrespect the president, which is not a good thing. But to him, basically, he was not disrespecting the president. He was just doing his job. So you don't know why Peter Navarro and the others came against him. To him, basically, he was doing his job. And there's nothing wrong for him to do his job. And that strike off, and that it wasn't a good feeling. So they were asking him that, what does he really think about all this? Basically, he said he doesn't really understand, but because he had that phone call that President Donald Trump was very rude to him, answer him rudely. Somebody like Sony, which is very saddening, that the husband lost 2 people. The parents of the husband died within 3 days each other. So the husband, to Sony, he blamed President Donald Trump. You know that during that period, some people were putting on masks, some people were not putting on masks. COVID-19 is a time that I'm not sure in the history of the world will ever be forgotten, because it affected the whole world. You could feel COVID-19 working on the atmosphere. I don't know if anybody could feel that period. You could smell it working. It was like a spirit. It was like a human being. You could feel it working. People were just getting sick. People were just dying. You go to the hospital were just full. If you're sick, you're even afraid to go to the hospital. Some people are able and well. They just go for checkup, and they call you that they never return. And you don't even see their corpse. So COVID-19 was a moment that the world will never want it to happen again. It was an unforgettable experience, which I would say that we prayed it never happened again to eternity. And what do you think about Dr. Fauci and President Donald Trump? Who do you blame? Some people blame Dr. Fauci. Some people blame President Donald Trump. You know, he complained one time that they wanted to kill him and his family. So he had a lot of bodyguards. So his life was threatening, because many people blame him for their people that died, that he did not give the right. He did not do well as a medical practitioner. So what do you really say about that? Can I get your own opinion on the comment section? Will a doctor want to save life after putting his best? The people will threaten to kill him. What do you think about that? Is that somewhere of discouragement? Because I know doctor is an oath. You put your life to save lives. Will that discourage other people from entering into the profession? Will that make him to regret enter such profession? What actually do you think? Let me see your opinion in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and share the video. God bless you.